Hello, gorgeous. You're listening to the Girlfriend's Guide to Starting Over. On this podcast, we talk about everything from dating and relationships to personal development. We also speak very candidly about the F word, and by that, I mean failure. So grab a pen, tag a friend, and let's talk about it. All of it. Undergoing, overcoming, and simply trying to make it through. We have spent the last several weeks talking about boundaries with a brief intermission to address what life coaching is, how it's different from therapy, and what it's all about. And we're going to pick right back up where we left off and dive into people pleasing this month, because I truly feel like it's impossible to discuss boundaries thoroughly without addressing the topic of people pleasing. For those of you who don't know, people pleasing is a habit of putting other people and their needs and their desires and how they feel in front of your own. And for those of you who've been rocking with me for a long time, you will know there is absolutely no way to stand firmly in your main character energy if you are people pleasing. That is a habit that you absolutely must break. No, I'm not saying that it has to be completely mended before you can tap into your main character era, but you have to at least acknowledge that it's an issue and begin the work. Because if you're constantly worried about what other people are going to say or think or do or feel about you, then there's no way that you can put yourself first or see yourself as the main character of your life. So what is people pleasing anyway, right? Obviously, I've stated that it's putting other people before you, but you might recognize that you're a people pleaser if you have trouble saying no, if you have guilt or anxiety with disappointing people, if you hold your tongue and you don't really speak up about your true feelings because you're concerned with conflict, if you feel that you have to handle everything or you find yourself anticipating what people might need or what people might think or how people might feel, and you change your actions based upon their beliefs or their needs or what they desire, those are all signs that you may be a people pleaser. And another question I get is, Kayla, how does people pleasing even start? Like why am I like this, right? Why am I like this? People pleasing is a trauma response. In most instances, it's a trauma response. Now, some of that started from childhood, where we had an explosive parent, mom or dad or guardian or grandma or whoever. You learned that they would absolutely explode if you were not cooperative or compliant. Sometimes it's a romantic partner who blows up when they don't get the answers that they want or you don't fall in line with what they ask you to do. Sometimes it's a supervisor who demeans you or makes you feel like you're inadequate or you're not smart enough, or they explode when you're not following the quote policies or rules, close quote, right? But whatever happened, with whomever it happened, you learned that cooperating, saying yes, going with the flow, not rocking the boat, that meant safety. That meant that it prevented chaos. And it was easier to do this than to deal with the fallout. What I want to urge you to consider is that yes, when you go along to get along, you don't rock the boat, you're cooperative, you get your gold star for doing all the things, it appears quiet on the water. There are no signs to anyone on the outside that things are bad. But inside, a storm is brewing. You become so resentful, so angry, so burnt out. You feel misused. You feel abused. You feel like no one appreciates you. And inside, a storm is brewing. And if you aren't careful, you become your own enemy. You're like, no one appreciates me. Nobody cares what I think. I'm not good enough. If I was worth anything, you turn that agitation, that frustration, that anxiety on its head. And all of a sudden, not only are you angry with other people, you are angry with you. and you lose sight of who you truly are. So buckle up, because this month I am teaching you about people pleasing and the art of overcoming people pleasing. We're going to talk all about it. We're going to identify some things that you thought were normal. We're going to identify some situations where you didn't realize that that is what is going on. And we're going to talk about how, for real, people pleasing is manipulative. It's manipulative AF. And we get to stop that. It doesn't matter how long you've been doing it. It doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, how far in you are. You get to undo this. We get to unlearn this. And I'm here to help. I love you, and I can't wait to chat with you in the next one.